William Shakespeare, known as the Bard, was born in Stratford-upon-Avon in 1564. His father, John Shakespeare, was a glove maker and his mother, Mary Arden, came from a family of farmers. Young William was the third of 8 children. In this small English town, Shakespeare's early life was quite ordinary. He likely attended the local grammar school, King's New School, where he learned Latin, Greek, and read classical literature, all of which played a key role in his later works. During these formative years, Shakespeare would have been exposed to the rich stories and characters of ancient Rome and Greece. Stratford-upon-Avon was a market town, bustling with traders and travelers. This environment would have given Shakespeare a window into various walks of life, influencing his understanding of human nature. At the age of 18, Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway, who was 8 years his senior. They had 3 children, Susanna, Hamnet, and Judith. Hamnet, Shakespeare's only son, tragically died at the age of 11, an event that deeply affected Shakespeare. In his late teens or early 20s, Shakespeare left Stratford-upon-Avon for London. The reasons for this move are unclear, but it marked the beginning of his extraordinary career in theatre. This period of Shakespeare's life, before he emerged as a prominent playwright in London, remains shrouded in mystery. Some believe he might have worked as a school teacher, while others speculate that he might have been involved in different trades. What is clear is that by the late 1580s, Shakespeare was in London and had begun to make a name for himself in the world of theatre. His early works, both plays and poetry, started to gain attention. He was not only a playwright but also an actor, a unique combination that gave him a deep understanding of the stage. His experiences in Stratford-upon-Avon, from his education to the loss of his son, all contributed to the depth and humanity found in his later works. Shakespeare's journey from a small-town boy to the most celebrated playwright in English history is a tale of talent, ambition, and the transformative power of literature. His early years in Stratford-upon-Avon laid the foundation for a legacy that continues to captivate and inspire audiences around the world. Shakespeare's education played a crucial role in shaping his future as a playwright and poet. He attended the King's New School in Stratford-upon-Avon, a school known for its strong focus on classical studies. There, he studied Latin and Greek, reading works by ancient authors like Ovid, Plautus, and Seneca. These authors influenced his writing style and the themes he explored in his plays. The school also encouraged the study of rhetoric, the art of persuasive speaking and writing, which is evident in the eloquent speeches found in his plays. Shakespeare's education was not just about learning from books. In Elizabethan England, plays and performances were a popular form of entertainment and education. The town of Stratford-upon-Avon hosted various plays and pageants, providing Shakespeare with early exposure to theatre. These experiences likely ignited his passion for the stage and storytelling. Shakespeare's family life also had a significant impact on his work. His father, John Shakespeare, experienced financial difficulties, which meant that the young Shakespeare might have had to help with his father's business. This exposure to the ups and downs of business and the diversity of people in Stratford's market would later be reflected in the complex characters and plots of his plays. The rural countryside of Warwickshire, where Shakespeare grew up, also influenced his writing. His plays often include references to nature and rural life, suggesting a deep connection and appreciation for the natural world. Additionally, the religious and political climate of the time influenced Shakespeare. The Elizabethan era was a time of religious and political change, which is reflected in the themes of power, authority, and conflict in his plays. Shakespeare's early life in Stratford-upon-Avon provided a rich tapestry of experiences that influenced his writing. His education, family life, and the world around him all played a part in shaping the works that would make him one of the most celebrated writers in the English language. The journey from a small-town boy to a legendary figure in literature demonstrates the profound impact of one's early environment and experiences on their future achievements. In the late 1580s, William Shakespeare took a bold step in his career by moving to London, a city vibrant with culture and opportunities. It was here that he joined one of the city's most famous acting companies, the Lord Chamberlain's Men. This company was known for its talented actors and was under the patronage of Lord Chamberlain, an important figure in Queen Elizabeth I's court. Joining this company was a significant moment for Shakespeare. It not only meant that he was part of a respected group of actors but also gave him a platform to showcase his writing. The Lord Chamberlain's men performed at various venues across London, including the famous theatre and later, the Globe Theatre. Shakespeare's role in the company was not just as an actor but also as a playwright. He began writing plays that the company would perform, and his work quickly gained popularity. The company's performances were attended by a wide range of audiences, from commoners to members of the royal court. This diversity in audience influenced Shakespeare's writing, as he crafted plays that appealed to all levels of society. His plays combined elements of comedy, tragedy, and history, making them unique and appealing to a wide audience. The Lord Chamberlain's Men was more than just a company of actors. It was a close-knit group of artists who worked together to create something extraordinary. Shakespeare's collaboration with other members of the company, including Richard Burbage, a famous actor of the time, led to the creation of some of the most memorable characters in English literature. The company's success was not only due to the talent of its members but also to their innovative approach to theatre. They used elaborate costumes and props to bring their performances to life, making them a visual spectacle. Shakespeare's time with the Lord Chamberlain's Men marked a period of intense creativity and productivity. It was during this time that he wrote some of his most famous plays, including Romeo and Juliet, A Midsummer Night's Dream, and Hamlet. The success of these plays not only established Shakespeare as a prominent playwright but also helped to solidify the reputation of the Lord Chamberlain's Men as one of the leading theatre companies in London. Joining the Lord Chamberlain's Men was a turning point in Shakespeare's life. It provided him with the opportunity to develop his talents as a writer and actor, and to contribute to the rich cultural landscape of Elizabethan England. His work with the company not only entertained audiences but also had a lasting impact on English literature and theatre. This period in Shakespeare's life is a testament to the power of collaboration and creativity in the world of theatre. During the time of William Shakespeare, the Elizabethan theatre scene was a bustling and vibrant part of English culture. The late 16th and early 17th centuries were a golden age for English drama, and London was at the heart of it. Theatres were not just places for entertainment, they were social hubs where people from all walks of life gathered. The most famous theatres of the time were the Globe, the Rose, and the Swan. These theatres were open air and could hold thousands of spectators. People from different classes, from the poorest citizens to the nobility, would come to watch plays. This mix of audiences made the theatre a unique place where different parts of society could meet. The Elizabethan theatre was known for its dramatic and imaginative productions. Since there were no electric lights or modern special effects, playwrights and actors relied on their words and performance to create vivid scenes and characters. Plays often included music, dancing, and elaborate costumes to add to the spectacle. The actors were all men, as women were not allowed to perform on stage. Young boys played the roles of women. This was a challenge for playwrights and actors, but they used it to their advantage to create memorable performances. Shakespeare was part of this exciting world. His plays were performed in these theatres and were very popular. He knew how to write for the diverse audiences that came to the theatres. His plays had complex characters and stories that appealed to both the educated elite and the common people. He used humor, drama, and action to keep his audiences engaged. His understanding of human nature and his ability to capture the essence of life in his plays made them stand out. The theatre scene in Elizabethan England was not just about entertainment. It was also a reflection of the society and times. Plays often dealt with current issues, like politics, love, power, and betrayal. They were a way for people to see and think about these topics. The government sometimes saw plays as a challenge to authority, and there were strict rules about what could be shown on stage. Despite this, playwrights like Shakespeare managed to explore complex and sometimes controversial themes in their work. Theatre in Shakespeare's time was more than just an art form, it was a vital part of the social and cultural fabric of Elizabethan England. It brought people together and provided a space for them to experience a wide range of emotions and ideas. For Shakespeare, the theatre was not just a workplace but a source of inspiration and creativity. His involvement in the Elizabethan theatre scene played a key role in his development as a writer and helped him become one of the greatest playwrights in history. This era of theatre was a time of great creativity and innovation, and its legacy continues to influence the world of drama and performance today. In Shakespeare's time, the Elizabethan theatre scene was a colorful and exciting world. Theatres like the Globe, the Swan, and the Rose were not just places for plays, they were a central part of London's culture. People from all parts of society, from the poor to the rich, came to watch performances. Theatres were open air and could hold many people. The audience stood or sat around the stage, creating a lively atmosphere. Theatre in Elizabethan England was unique. There were no lights or modern effects. Playwrights and actors had to use their words and acting to create vivid pictures in the audience's minds. Plays often had music, dance, and impressive costumes. All actors were men, as women were not allowed to act. Young boys played women's roles. This was challenging, but they used it to make the plays interesting and fun. Shakespeare was part of this amazing theatre world. His plays were very popular and were performed in these theatres. He wrote for all kinds of audiences. His plays had complex stories and characters that everyone could enjoy. He used humor, drama, and action to keep people interested. Shakespeare understood people very well, and this made his plays special. The theatre scene was more than just for fun. It showed what life was like in those times. Plays talked about important topics like politics, love, power, and betrayal. They made people think about these issues. The government sometimes saw plays as a problem and had strict rules about what could be shown. But playwrights like Shakespeare still explored big and sometimes difficult ideas in their work. For Shakespeare, the theatre was not just a job. It was where he got his ideas and where he grew as a writer. His time in the Elizabethan theatre scene helped him become a great playwright. This time in theatre was full of creativity and new ideas, and it still influences drama and performance today. In the early years of his career in London, William Shakespeare began to find success as a playwright. His first plays were mostly comedies and histories, which quickly gained popularity. These early works showed his unique style and his ability to tell stories that were both entertaining and thought-provoking. His comedies like The Comedy of Errors and A Midsummer Night's Dream were full of humor, mistaken identities, and playful characters. They delighted audiences with their clever plots and witty dialogue. Shakespeare's histories, such as Henry VI and Richard III, explored English history, focusing on the lives of kings and the struggles for power. These plays were not just simple stories, they were complex and full of political intrigue. Shakespeare's early successes were important for several reasons. First, they established him as a talented playwright in the competitive world of Elizabethan theatre. Theatregoers began to look forward to his new plays, and his reputation started to grow. Second, these early plays showed Shakespeare's range as a writer. He could write both light-hearted comedies and serious historical dramas. This versatility became one of his trademarks and is one reason why he is still admired today. These plays also reflected the society and times of Elizabethan England. Through his comedies, Shakespeare explored themes of love, gender roles, and social norms. His historical plays often commented on issues of leadership, power, and the consequences of ambition. Even though these plays were set in the past or in imaginary places, they spoke to the audiences of Shakespeare's time about their own lives and society. Shakespeare's work in these early comedies and histories laid the foundation for his later masterpieces. His ability to mix humor with serious themes, to create memorable characters, and to tell stories that captivated audiences, set him apart from other playwrights of his time. These early plays were not just popular in their day, they have stood the test of time and continue to be performed and enjoyed by audiences around the world. The success of these early plays was crucial in Shakespeare's journey to becoming one of the greatest playwrights in history. They showed his talent and potential and earned him the respect and admiration of both the public and those in the world of theater. Shakespeare's rise to fame began with these early works, and they remain a testament to his skill and creativity as a writer. As William Shakespeare's plays gained popularity in London, both the public and critics began to take notice. His unique storytelling, rich characters, and the blend of humor and seriousness in his plays captured the attention of a wide audience. People from all parts of society, from commoners to the nobility, admired his work. His plays were a major attraction in the theaters, drawing large crowds eager to enjoy his latest creations. The public's reaction to Shakespeare's plays was overwhelmingly positive. His ability to touch on universal themes like love, ambition, and conflict resonated with the audience. They found his characters relatable and his stories engaging. Critics of the time also started to recognize Shakespeare's talent. Although formal literary criticism was not as developed as it is today, the praise for Shakespeare's work was evident in the writings and comments of scholars and fellow playwrights. They admired his mastery of language, his skillful use of plot, and the depth of his characters. Some even regarded him as a genius of the English stage. Shakespeare's reputation grew not just because of his talent as a writer but also because of the way he engaged with the issues of his time. His plays often reflected the political and social climate of Elizabethan England. He addressed themes like power, justice, and human nature, making his plays not only entertaining but also thought-provoking. This ability to connect with the audience on different levels, emotional, intellectual, and social, set him apart from other playwrights of his era. Despite his growing fame, Shakespeare remained focused on his craft. He continued to write and produce plays, constantly evolving and refining his style. His dedication to theater and his relentless pursuit of excellence in writing were evident in his work, which continued to evolve and impress both the public and critics. The public and critical reception of Shakespeare's early works played a significant role in his journey as a playwright. The appreciation and respect he received from audiences and fellow artists alike boosted his confidence and encouraged him to explore new ideas and themes in his writing. This positive reception was not just a testament to his talent but also to the way he captured the essence of the human experience in his plays. Shakespeare's rise to fame in the world of theater was a reflection of his ability to connect with people through his art. His plays were more than just entertainment, they were a mirror to society and an exploration of the human condition. The public and critical reception of his work during his lifetime laid the groundwork for his enduring legacy as one of the greatest playwrights in history. William Shakespeare is famous for his plays, but he was also a master of the sonnet, a type of poem. Shakespeare's sonnets are some of the most well-known and loved poems in English literature. A sonnet is a short poem with 14 lines, and Shakespeare developed his own style of writing them, now known as the Shakespearean sonnet. This style has a special structure and rhyme pattern that makes it unique. Shakespeare wrote 154 sonnets, and they cover themes like love, beauty, politics, and mortality. These sonnets are known for their deep emotions and complex ideas. In his sonnets, Shakespeare often talks about the nature of time, the beauty of youth, and the pain of love. He uses vivid images and beautiful language to express his thoughts and feelings. Shakespeare's sonnets were not just personal poems, they also reflected the culture and society of his time. They explored the human experience and the nature of relationships. The Shakespearean sonnet has a specific structure. It has 3 quatrains, 4-line sections, and a final couplet, 2 lines. The rhyme scheme is usually a bab cd cd ff gg. This structure gives the sonnet a rhythmic and melodic quality. Shakespeare used this structure to explore different ideas in each quatrain, leading to a conclusion or a twist in the final couplet. Shakespeare's sonnets were first published in 1609, but it is believed that he wrote them over several years. They were very popular and were read by many people. The sonnets showed a different side of Shakespeare, one that was deeply thoughtful and skilled at expressing complex emotions in a few words. They added to his reputation as a great writer and poet. The development of the Shakespearean sonnet was an important part of Shakespeare's work. It showed his skill and creativity as a poet. The sonnets are still studied and admired today for their beauty and depth. They are a key part of English literature and show the power of poetry to express deep and universal human feelings. Shakespeare's work on the sonnet has influenced many poets after him, making it a lasting part of his legacy. William Shakespeare's poetry, especially his sonnets, explored a variety of themes using distinct styles. His poetry touched on themes like love, beauty, mortality, and the passage of time. These themes were not just simple ideas, they were deep and often complex, reflecting the human experience. Shakespeare's poems often talked about the beauty of young people and the sadness of growing old. He wrote about the power of love and the pain it can bring. His poems also looked at the idea of fame and how it can last after death. Shakespeare's style in his poetry was rich and expressive. He used metaphors and similes to create strong images in the reader's mind. His language was full of rhythm and melody, making his poems pleasing to read and hear. One of the unique aspects of Shakespeare's poetry was how he used structure. His sonnets, with their specific form, allowed him to explore an idea in a short space. He often used the first 3 quatrains to look at different aspects of a theme and then used the final couplet to give a conclusion or a new perspective. This style made his sonnets both structured and surprising. Shakespeare's poetry was also notable for its use of language. He played with words, creating new phrases and expressions. Some of these have become common sayings in English. His skill with language showed his deep understanding of words and their power. Shakespeare's poetry was popular during his lifetime and remains so today. People are drawn to his poems for their beauty and depth. They speak to the emotions and experiences that are part of being human. His themes and styles have influenced many poets and writers since his time. In his poetry, Shakespeare captured the essence of life, love, and human nature. His poems are a window into the culture and society of his time, but they also have a timeless quality. They continue to be read, studied, and loved by people all over the world. Shakespeare's poetry, with its rich themes and unique style, is a key part of his legacy as one of the greatest writers in English literature. William Shakespeare, after his early successes, began to focus on writing tragedies, a type of play that deals with serious themes and often ends sadly. 3 of his most famous tragedies are Hamlet, Othello, and King Lear. These plays are known for their deep exploration of human emotions and complex characters. In these tragedies, Shakespeare showed his mastery of the genre, creating stories that were powerful and moving. Hamlet is one of Shakespeare's most famous plays. It tells the story of a young prince, Hamlet, who seeks revenge against his uncle, who has killed Hamlet's father and married his mother. The play explores themes like madness, betrayal, and the struggle between action and inaction. Hamlet's famous question, to be or not to be, reflects the deep philosophical and moral questions in the play. Othello is another of Shakespeare's great tragedies. It is the story of Othello, a Moorish general in the Venetian army, who is tricked by his jealous officer Iago into believing that his wife, Desdemona, has been unfaithful. The play deals with themes like jealousy, trust, and racism. It shows how easily a person can be manipulated and the tragic consequences of misunderstanding. King Lear is a play about an old king who divides his kingdom among his daughters based on how much they say they love him. This decision leads to tragedy and chaos. The play looks at themes like power, loyalty, and madness. King Lear's journey from a powerful king to a broken man is one of the most compelling stories in Shakespeare's works. These tragedies are considered some of Shakespeare's best work. They combine strong storytelling with deep exploration of human nature. The characters in these plays are complex and real. They make difficult choices and face serious consequences. The themes in these plays are universal, touching on ideas and emotions that are part of human life. Shakespeare's ability to create such powerful and moving tragedies shows his skill as a playwright. He understood how to tell stories that would engage and affect his audience. His tragedies are not just sad stories, they are works of art that explore the depth of human experience. These plays have had a lasting impact on literature and are still performed and admired today. Shakespeare's mastery of tragedy in Hamlet, Othello, and King Lear is a key part of his legacy. These plays show his talent for creating deep and meaningful works that speak to the human heart. They continue to be important works in the world of literature and theater, showing the power of drama to explore and reflect the human condition. In William Shakespeare's tragedies, he delved deeply into human psychology and flaws, exploring the complex nature of human beings. His characters were not simple heroes or villains, they were real people with strengths and weaknesses. This exploration of human nature is one of the reasons why his plays are still relevant and powerful today. Shakespeare's characters often faced difficult moral choices. They struggled with their desires, fears, and responsibilities. For example, in Hamlet, the main character is torn between his duty to avenge his father and his own doubts and moral concerns. This internal struggle makes Hamlet a complex and relatable character. Shakespeare also explored the darker sides of human nature. In Macbeth, the ambition of Macbeth and his wife leads to murder and chaos. The play shows how ambition and the desire for power can corrupt a person. In Othello, Iago's jealousy and manipulation cause tragedy for everyone around him. Shakespeare's ability to show the destructive power of negative emotions like jealousy, ambition, and hatred was a key part of his exploration of human psychology. Another aspect of Shakespeare's work was his exploration of human flaws and weaknesses. His characters often had tragic flaws that led to their downfall. For instance, King Lear's pride and inability to see the truth about his daughters lead to his tragic end. These flaws made the characters human and their stories tragic. Shakespeare's deep understanding of human psychology allowed him to create characters and stories that were true to life. He showed how people can be noble and good but also weak and flawed. His plays explore the full range of human emotions and experiences. Shakespeare's exploration of human psychology and flaws was not just about telling sad stories. It was a way for him to explore the complexities of life and the human condition. His plays ask big questions about life, love, morality, and what it means to be human. They challenge the audience to think about these questions and to see themselves in the characters. Shakespeare's work in exploring human psychology and flaws has had a lasting impact on literature and theater. His plays continue to be studied and performed because they speak to the human experience. They show the power of drama to explore deep and meaningful themes. Shakespeare's exploration of human nature is a key part of his legacy as one of the greatest writers in the English language. His work continues to inspire and challenge audiences around the world. William Shakespeare was not only a master of tragedies, but he also excelled in crafting comedies. Two of his most famous comedies are A Midsummer Night's Dream and Twelfth Night. These plays are celebrated for their humor, imaginative characters, and clever plot twists. In A Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare takes the audience into a magical forest filled with fairies, mistaken identities, and love potions. The play is set around the wedding of Duke Theseus and Hippolyta, and follows the adventures of two young couples and a group of amateur actors. The magical setting and playful story make it one of Shakespeare's most enjoyable works. Twelfth Night is another example of Shakespeare's comedic genius. This play revolves around the themes of mistaken identity and unrequited love. The main character, Viola, is shipwrecked and believes her brother is dead. She disguises herself as a man to find work and ends up in a complicated love triangle. The play is full of humorous situations and witty dialogue, making it a favorite among audiences. Both of these comedies showcase Shakespeare's skill in creating complex and amusing plots. He used various comedic devices such as disguise, misunderstandings, and over-the-top characters to create laughter and entertain his audience. The plays also often included a deeper message or moral, making them more than just simple comedies. Shakespeare's ability to combine humor with deeper themes is part of what makes his comedies so enduring. A Midsummer Night's Dream and Twelfth Night explore themes like love, identity, and the nature of reality. Even though they are funny, they also make the audience think about serious topics. These plays were very popular during Shakespeare's time and remain so today. They have been performed countless times and have been adapted into various other forms, such as movies and musicals. Their appeal lies in their universal themes and Shakespeare's brilliant use of language and storytelling. Shakespeare's comedies, like A Midsummer Night's Dream and Twelfth Night, show another side of his talent. They prove that he was not just a great tragedian, but also a master of comedy. His ability to write both types of plays shows his versatility as a writer. These comedies are an important part of his legacy and continue to bring joy and laughter to audiences around the world. William Shakespeare was known for his unique use of humor and satire in his plays. Humor is when something is funny and makes people laugh. Satire is a way of using humor to show the problems or silly aspects of society, people, or behaviors. In his comedies, Shakespeare used both of these to entertain and also to make people think. His humor was often clever and playful, using wordplay, misunderstandings, and funny situations. For example, in Much Ado About Nothing, the witty banter between Beatrice and Benedick creates humorous scenes. Their clever use of words and arguments are not only funny but also show deeper feelings. Satire was another tool Shakespeare used. He often made fun of social norms and behaviors. For instance, in The Merchant of Venice, the character of Shylock is used to explore and criticize the way society treated people who were different. Shakespeare also used satire to comment on politics and power. In King Lear, the fool uses humor to speak truth to power and to show the foolishness of the king's actions. Shakespeare's use of humor and satire was not just to make people laugh. It was also a way to explore serious themes in a light-hearted way. He used comedy to talk about love, relationships, and society. His plays often showed how ridiculous and unreasonable human behavior can be. This made his audience think about their own actions and the society they lived in. Shakespeare's ability to mix humor with serious topics made his plays enjoyable and meaningful. His comedies were not just simple, funny stories. They were complex works that used humor and satire to explore the human experience. His skillful use of language made his humor and satire even more effective. He played with words and used puns, making his comedy clever and entertaining. Shakespeare's use of humor and satire has had a lasting impact. His comedies are still loved for their wit and cleverness. They continue to be performed and adapted, showing the timelessness of his work. Shakespeare's use of humor and satire shows his understanding of human nature and his ability to entertain and challenge his audience. It is a key part of his legacy as one of the greatest writers in the English language. William Shakespeare was not only famous for his tragedies and comedies, but also for his historical plays. Two of his well-known historical plays are Richard III and Henry IV. These plays retell parts of English history, focusing on the lives of these two kings. Shakespeare's retelling of history was not just about telling what happened. He added drama and personal stories to make the historical figures come to life. Richard III is about the rise to power and short reign of King Richard III of England. The play shows Richard as a clever and ruthless man who will do anything to become king. He tricks, lies, and even kills people in his family to get the throne. The play is full of drama and shows how Richard's actions lead to his downfall. It is a story about power, betrayal, and the consequences of evil actions. Henry IV is divided into two parts and tells the story of King Henry IV of England. It focuses on the king's struggle to keep his throne and the rebellion against him. It also tells the story of his son, Prince Hal, who later becomes King Henry V. The play looks at themes like leadership, honor, and the relationship between fathers and sons. Prince Hal's journey from a carefree young man to a responsible king is a key part of the story. In these plays, Shakespeare used historical facts as a base but added his own ideas to make the stories more interesting. He explored the characters' personalities and motivations, making them more than just historical figures. His retelling of history was not always accurate, but it was always engaging and thought-provoking. Shakespeare's historical plays, like Richard III and Henry IV, were popular in his time and are still performed today. They show his skill as a writer who could take historical events and turn them into exciting drama. These plays are important because they make history accessible and interesting. They help people understand the past and the people who shaped it. Shakespeare's retelling of history in these plays is a good example of his talent and creativity. He used drama and personal stories to bring history to life. His historical plays are not just about kings and battles. They are about the human experience, the struggle for power, and the complexities of leadership. These plays are a key part of Shakespeare's work and show his ability to tell stories that are both entertaining and meaningful. William Shakespeare had a special talent for blending fact with fiction in his historical plays. He used real historical events and figures as the basis for his stories, but he added his own creative twists to make the plays more interesting and dramatic. This blending of fact and fiction is one of the reasons why his plays are so engaging. Shakespeare's historical plays are not just simple retellings of history. He added fictional characters and situations to the real events. For example, in Julius Caesar, Shakespeare included conversations and scenes that were not part of the real historical record. These additions helped to develop the characters and make the story more dramatic. In Macbeth, which is based on a real Scottish king, Shakespeare added elements like the witches and their prophecies. These fictional elements added a sense of mystery and supernatural to the story. They also helped to explore the themes of ambition and fate. Shakespeare's blending of fact and fiction was not just about making the plays more exciting. It was also a way for him to explore deeper themes and ideas. He used historical events to talk about universal themes like power, loyalty, and justice. His plays showed how these themes were relevant not just in the past, but also in his own time and even today. Shakespeare's use of fiction in his historical plays also allowed him to comment on the society and politics of his time. By setting his plays in the past, he could explore sensitive topics without directly criticizing the current government or society. This was a clever way for Shakespeare to make his plays both entertaining and thought-provoking. Shakespeare's blending of fact with fiction in his historical plays has had a lasting impact. These plays are still popular because they are more than just history lessons. They are exciting and meaningful stories that bring the past to life. They show Shakespeare's skill as a writer who could take real events and turn them into great drama. His historical plays are a key part of his work and show his ability to create stories that are both true to history and rich in imagination. They continue to be an important part of literature and theater, showing the power of drama to explore and reflect the human experience. Towards the end of his career, William Shakespeare made a significant shift in his writing style, creating plays that combined elements of tragedy, comedy, and romance. Two notable plays from this period are The Winter's Tale and The Tempest. These plays are different from his earlier works and are often called his romance plays. They are known for their complex stories, magical elements, and themes of forgiveness and redemption. The Winter's Tale is a play that starts as a tragedy but ends like a comedy. It tells the story of Leontes, a king who wrongly accuses his wife of being unfaithful. His jealousy leads to tragedy, including the apparent death of his wife and the abandonment of his daughter. However, the play ends with forgiveness and reunions, turning the story from sadness to joy. The play is known for its dramatic shifts in mood and setting, and for its exploration of themes like jealousy, redemption, and the power of time. The Tempest is another of Shakespeare's late plays. It is set on a magical island and tells the story of Prospero, a duke who was overthrown and sent to the island with his daughter. The play combines elements of magic, betrayal, and romance. Prospero uses magic to bring his enemies to the island and to set things right. In the end, he forgives those who wronged him and gives up his magic. The Tempest is often seen as a reflection of Shakespeare's own life and career, with Prospero's farewell to magic symbolizing Shakespeare's farewell to the theatre. These late career plays show Shakespeare's continued growth and innovation as a writer. He experimented with new forms and themes, creating plays that were different from his earlier works. The romance plays are less about the external conflicts and more about the internal struggles of the characters. They explore themes of forgiveness, reconciliation, and the passage of time in a more personal and reflective way. The Winter's Tale and The Tempest were successful in Shakespeare's time and remain popular today. They are admired for their beautiful language, complex characters, and the blend of different genres. These plays show Shakespeare's skill in creating stories that are both entertaining and meaningful. They are a testament to his ability to evolve as a writer and to keep creating new and innovative works. Shakespeare's late career shift to the romance plays is an important part of his legacy. It shows his versatility as a playwright and his deep understanding of the human experience. These plays continue to be an important part of the world of literature and theatre, showing the power of drama to explore complex and profound themes. In his later years, William Shakespeare often included elements of magic and themes of redemption in his plays. These elements are especially prominent in his romance plays, such as The Tempest and The Winter's Tale. In these plays, Shakespeare used magic not just as a source of wonder and entertainment, but also as a tool to explore deeper themes and to drive the story towards redemption and reconciliation. In The Tempest, the character Prospero, a magician and the rightful Duke of Milan, uses magic to control the elements and other characters. He conjures a storm that brings his enemies to the island where he has been living in exile. Through the course of the play, Prospero's use of magic leads to various events that ultimately bring about the resolution of past wrongs. The play ends with Prospero forgiving those who betrayed him and giving up his magical powers, symbolizing redemption and the restoration of order. Similarly, The Winter's Tale features elements of magic in its storyline. The most notable is the character of Paulina, who appears to bring a statue to life in the play's final act. This act of magic leads to the revelation that Queen Hermione, thought to be dead, is actually alive. This moment is a turning point in the play, leading to the reconciliation of the characters and the healing of past wounds. The play moves from tragedy to a joyful resolution, demonstrating the power of forgiveness and the possibility of redemption. In both plays, the use of magic serves to create a sense of wonder and to elevate the story to a more mythical and timeless level. It allows Shakespeare to explore themes like the power of nature, the limits of human control, and the mysteries of life. Magic in these plays is a metaphor for the transformative power of love and forgiveness. It shows how people can change and how situations can be resolved in unexpected ways. The themes of redemption and reconciliation are central to Shakespeare's romance plays. These themes reflect the idea that despite human faults and errors, there is always the possibility of forgiveness and a second chance. The characters in these plays often go through a journey of self-discovery and learning, leading them to a better understanding of themselves and others. Shakespeare's use of magic and his exploration of redemption in his later plays show his deep understanding of human nature and his skill as a storyteller. These elements make the plays not just entertaining, but also meaningful and thought-provoking. They are a key part of Shakespeare's legacy, demonstrating his ability to blend the fantastical with the real and to explore complex themes in an accessible way. The romance plays, with their elements of magic and redemption, continue to captivate audiences and are celebrated for their creativity and depth. William Shakespeare, one of the greatest playwrights in history, was also known for collaborating with other playwrights. Working together with fellow writers was common in the Elizabethan era, and Shakespeare was no exception. This collaboration was a way for playwrights to share ideas, learn from each other, and create better plays. Shakespeare's collaborations were often with members of his theatre company, the Lord Chamberlain's Men, which later became the King's Men. He worked with fellow playwrights like John Fletcher, who was a well-known writer of the time. Together, they wrote plays like Henry VIII and The Two Noble Kinsmen. These plays combined the strengths of both writers and were successful in their time. Collaborating with other playwrights allowed Shakespeare to explore new ideas and writing styles. It was a way for him to keep his work fresh and innovative. Working with others also helped him handle the demands of writing for a successful theater company. Plays were needed regularly, and collaboration made it easier to produce new works quickly. In these collaborations, Shakespeare and his fellow playwrights would sometimes work on different parts of a play. One might write the main plot while the other would write subplots or specific scenes. This method of working together allowed each playwright to focus on their strengths. It also made the plays richer and more varied in style and content. Collaboration was not just about sharing the workload. It was also about sharing creativity and inspiration. Playwrights could discuss ideas, challenge each other, and create more complex and interesting plays. It was a way for them to learn from each other and grow as writers. Shakespeare's ability to work well with others was a key part of his success. His collaborations show his flexibility and openness as a writer. He was not afraid to combine his talents with others to create something new and exciting. These collaborative works were a testament to his skill and creativity. Working with fellow playwrights was an important part of Shakespeare's career. It allowed him to create a diverse range of plays and to keep developing as a writer. His collaborations are an example of the collaborative spirit of Elizabethan theatre and show how working together can lead to great achievements in the arts. Shakespeare's work with other playwrights is a reminder of the power of collaboration in the creative process. In Elizabethan theatre, collaboration was not just common, it was a crucial part of the creative process. Playwrights, actors, and theatre companies worked closely together to produce plays. This teamwork was essential for the success of plays in a time when competition among theatre companies was intense. Shakespeare, like many of his contemporaries, understood the importance of working together with others in the theatre. Theatre companies in Elizabethan England were made up of a group of shareholders, including the principal actors and often the playwrights themselves. This structure meant that everyone had a stake in the success of the plays. As a result, collaboration was necessary. Actors contributed their ideas and interpretations of the characters, and playwrights often wrote parts with specific actors in mind. This close relationship between writers and performers helped create plays that were well suited to the company's talents. Collaboration also extended to the way plays were written. It was common for playwrights to work together on scripts. They might write different scenes or acts, or work on different aspects of the story. This practice allowed for a diversity of voices and ideas in the plays. It also helped plays to be written more quickly, which was important in a competitive theatrical environment where new plays were always in demand. In Shakespeare's time, theatre was a collaborative art form. The set design, costumes, music, and acting all came together to bring the playwright's words to life. Everyone involved in a production contributed to the final result. The success of a play depended on the effective collaboration of all these elements. Collaboration in Elizabethan theatre was not just practical, it was also a way to foster creativity and innovation. Working together, playwrights, actors, and other theatre professionals could experiment with new ideas and forms. They could learn from each other and push the boundaries of what theatre could be. This spirit of collaboration and experimentation is one of the reasons why Elizabethan theatre was so vibrant and successful. The role of collaboration in Elizabethan theatre is an important part of its history. It shows how the collective efforts of many people can lead to great artistic achievements. For Shakespeare and his contemporaries, working together was a way to create the best possible plays and to make a lasting impact on the world of theatre. The collaborative nature of Elizabethan theatre is a reminder of the power of teamwork in the creative arts. William Shakespeare was not just famous for his plays and sonnets, but also for his remarkable use of language. He had a unique talent for inventing words and phrases that are still used in the English language today. Shakespeare's contribution to the English language is immense. He had a way of playing with words, creating new ones, and using existing words in new ways. This creativity with language is one of the things that makes his work so special and enduring. Shakespeare invented many words by changing nouns into verbs, verbs into adjectives, and connecting words never before used together. He also added prefixes and suffixes, and devised completely new words. This creative use of language made his characters' speeches vivid and expressive. It helped him convey complex emotions and ideas in a powerful and memorable way. Some of the words Shakespeare is credited with inventing include amazement, bedroom, and lonely. He is also known for popular phrases like break the ice, heart of gold, and wild goose chase. These words and phrases are so much a part of everyday English that many people don't realize they were first used by Shakespeare. Shakespeare's inventive use of language was not just about showing off his skills. It was a way for him to explore and express the human experience more deeply. His new words and phrases allowed him to describe feelings, actions, and ideas in a way that had not been done before. This made his work both innovative and relatable. The Elizabethan era was a time of great change and expansion in the English language. Shakespeare's plays and poems contributed to this development. His work played a significant role in shaping modern English. The words and phrases he invented added richness and variety to the language. Shakespeare's inventiveness with language also shows his understanding of the power of words. He knew that the right word or phrase could make a character more believable, a speech more powerful, and a play more memorable. His ability to create new words and phrases was part of his genius as a writer. Shakespeare's contribution to the English language is a testament to his creativity and skill. His inventive use of words and phrases has had a lasting impact on English. It is one of the many reasons why his work remains relevant and admired today. Shakespeare's language is not just a tool for communication, it is an art form that continues to inspire and amaze people all over the world. William Shakespeare's impact on the English language is enduring and profound. His innovative use of words, phrases, and expressions has deeply influenced the way English is spoken and written even today. Shakespeare's work contributed significantly to the development of modern English, and his influence can be seen in many aspects of the language. Shakespeare's plays and poems introduced new vocabulary and expressions that have become part of everyday language. Many of the phrases he coined are still used, often without people realizing their origin. Expressions like a foregone conclusion, in a pickle, where one's heart on one's sleeve, and it's Greek to me are just a few examples of Shakespeare's contributions that are still in common use. His ability to capture complex ideas and emotions in simple yet powerful words and phrases has made his language timeless. Moreover, Shakespeare's works have influenced the structure and rhythm of English. He often played with the conventional forms of language, which made his writings dynamic and expressive. His use of iambic pentameter, a rhythmic pattern, in his plays and sonnets, has had a lasting impact on English poetry and drama. This rhythm matches closely with natural speech, giving his language a universal appeal. Shakespeare's characters and stories have also become an integral part of English culture and literature. Characters like Romeo, Juliet, Hamlet, and Macbeth are known worldwide and have become synonymous with certain human traits and experiences. The themes and moral dilemmas presented in his plays are universal, making them relevant across different cultures and eras. This has helped to keep his language alive and in use. The education system has played a significant role in ensuring the endurance of Shakespeare's impact on the language. His works are a staple in English literature and drama courses around the world. Students study his plays and sonnets, learning about the richness and complexity of English through his writings. Shakespeare's influence extends beyond literature into popular culture. His language and stories have been adapted into countless plays, movies, and television shows. These adaptations have helped to keep his language and expressions in the public consciousness. They introduce new generations to his work and language, ensuring that his impact on English continues. In conclusion, Shakespeare's enduring impact on modern English is undeniable. His innovative use of language, creation of new words and phrases, and the universal appeal of his characters and stories have ensured that his influence remains strong. Shakespeare's language is not just a part of English literature, it is a part of the English language itself. His contribution to the development and richness of English continues to be celebrated and appreciated, making him a pivotal figure in the history of the language. In Elizabethan times, when William Shakespeare was writing and performing his plays, stage practices were quite different from what we see in modern theaters. Theaters during this period had unique features and practices that greatly influenced how plays were staged and performed. One of the most famous theaters of the time was the Globe, where many of Shakespeare's plays were performed. These theaters were usually round or octagonal in shape and were open to the sky. The stage was a raised platform that jutted out into the middle of the theater, with the audience surrounding it on three sides. This layout created a close and interactive relationship between the actors and the audience. The stage had minimal scenery. The lack of elaborate backdrops or set pieces meant that the language of the play and the performance of the actors were crucial in setting the scene and mood. Actors relied heavily on costumes, props, and their skills to convey the setting and action of the play. Music and sound effects were also used to enhance the atmosphere and signal changes in scenes or moods. One of the most notable aspects of Elizabethan theatre was that all the actors were men. Young boys played the roles of women. This practice was due to the social norms and laws of the time, which prohibited women from performing on stage. The actors needed to be highly skilled to convincingly play a range of characters, including those of the opposite gender. Plays were performed in the afternoon, using natural light. This was because there was no artificial lighting. Performances had to be loud and visually engaging to capture the attention of the audience, who could be quite rowdy. Theatergoers did not sit quietly through performances like modern audiences. They ate, drank, and talked during the play, and they were not shy about showing their approval or disapproval. The actors in Shakespeare's time were part of a company, and they often worked together for many years. This allowed for a strong sense of teamwork and familiarity with each other's styles, which contributed to the quality of the performances. The companies were also responsible for producing the plays, which meant that they had to manage all aspects of the performance, from costumes and props to promoting the play and collecting money from the audience. Elizabethan stage practices played a significant role in the development of English theatre. They emphasized the importance of the playwright's language and the actor's performance. The close interaction between the actors and the audience created a dynamic and engaging theatre experience. These practices influenced Shakespeare's writing and the way he structured his plays, and they have had a lasting impact on the world of theatre. During Shakespeare's time, the relationship between actors and audiences was an integral part of the theatre experience. The actors of Elizabethan theatre were skilled performers who needed to be versatile and expressive. They had to capture the attention of a diverse and often vocal audience. The audiences of that era were quite different from today's theatregoers. They were more interactive and less reserved, making the atmosphere at plays lively and unpredictable. Actors in Shakespeare's time were usually members of a theatre company. These companies, like Shakespeare's own Lord Chamberlain's men, included a range of actors from leading men to those who played smaller roles. A key feature of Elizabethan acting was the use of boys to play female roles, as women were not allowed to perform on stage. This required the young boys to be especially talented, as they had to convincingly portray female characters. The performances demanded a high level of energy and versatility from the actors. They often played multiple roles in a single play, requiring quick costume changes and a broad range of acting skills. The actors had to project their voices loudly and clearly, as there were no microphones, and they performed in open-air theaters. They also needed to be skilled in physical comedy and dramatic gestures to convey the story effectively to a large audience. The audiences in Elizabethan theaters were a mix of people from different social classes. From the wealthy who could afford the best seats to the commoners who stood in the open yard, the theater was a place where all segments of society came together. The audience was not passive, they were known to be quite vocal during performances. They would cheer, boo, and even throw things if they were not pleased with the performance. The interaction between actors and audiences was direct and immediate. Actors would sometimes engage directly with the audience, breaking the fourth wall. This interaction made the performances more dynamic and created a unique theater experience. The theater was a major form of entertainment and played a significant role in the social and cultural life of the time. Going to the theater was not just about seeing a play, it was an event where people socialized, shared news, and were entertained. The vibrant and interactive atmosphere of Elizabethan theater was a key part of its appeal. The actors and audiences of Shakespeare's time played a significant role in shaping the theatrical experience. Their interaction and the lively atmosphere of the performances made theater an essential part of Elizabethan culture. This dynamic between actors and audiences influenced the way Shakespeare wrote his plays and has had a lasting impact on the world of theater. The Globe Theatre holds a special place in the history of English theatre and in the story of William Shakespeare. This iconic theatre was built in 1599 in London, and it was where many of Shakespeare's plays were first performed. The construction of the Globe was a significant event in the theatrical world. It was built by the Lord Chamberlain's men, the acting company to which Shakespeare belonged. The company needed a new playhouse, and the Globe was their solution. The theatre was constructed using timber from an earlier theatre. It was a large, round building with an open-air stage, making it unique compared to other theatres of the time. The design of the Globe allowed for a large audience. It had a standing area near the stage for the common people, who were known as the groundlings, and tiered seating for wealthier patrons. The stage extended into the middle of the open area, allowing for a close interaction between the actors and the audience. The Globe was not just a theatre, it was a symbol of the thriving theatrical scene in London during the Elizabethan era. It was a place where social classes mixed, as people from all walks of life came to see the plays. The Globe played a crucial role in popularizing theatre and in the career of Shakespeare. Many of his most famous plays, including Hamlet, Macbeth, and King Lear, were performed at the Globe. The theatre's design and its open-air aspect influenced the way plays were written and performed. Without elaborate sets and lighting, the focus was on the actors' performances and Shakespeare's language. The Globe stage demanded a dynamic style of acting and clear delivery of lines to reach the entire audience. The Globe Theatre was not just important for its architecture and the performances that took place there. It was also a center of cultural and social exchange. It was a place where ideas were shared and where the rich and poor could enjoy the same entertainment. The theatre was a reflection of the vibrancy and complexity of Elizabethan London. The construction and significance of the Globe Theatre are key parts of the history of Shakespeare and English theatre. The Globe was more than a building, it was a symbol of the artistic and cultural energy of the time. It played a vital role in the development of English drama and in the success of Shakespeare's plays. The legacy of the Globe continues to this day, with modern reconstructions and performances keeping the spirit of the original theatre alive. The Globe Theatre remains a symbol of the enduring power of theatre and its ability to bring people together. The Globe Theatre, a central figure in the history of English theatre and in the life of William Shakespeare, experienced both tragedy and renewal in its history. In 1613, during a performance of Shakespeare's play Henry VIII, a disastrous fire broke out and the original Globe Theatre was destroyed. This fire was caused by a cannon shot used for special effects during the performance, which set the thatched roof on fire. Despite the scale of the fire, it was reported that there were no casualties, which was fortunate given the crowded conditions of theatre performances at the time. The destruction of the Globe was a significant loss for the London theatre scene and for the Lord Chamberlain's men, Shakespeare's acting company. However, the company was determined to rebuild. Within a year, a new Globe Theatre was constructed on the same site. The new theatre was built to be similar to the original but with some improvements, including a tiled roof instead of thatch to reduce the risk of fire. The reconstructed Globe continued to be a popular venue for theatre in London, although Shakespeare's career was nearing its end by the time it was rebuilt. He died in 1616, just a few years after the new theatre opened. The Globe Theatre remained active until 1642, when all theatres in England were closed by the Puritans, and it was eventually demolished in 1644. The legacy of the Globe Theatre, however, did not end with its demolition. It left an indelible mark on the history of theatre and on the works of Shakespeare. The Globe was more than just a building, it was a symbol of the Elizabethan era's rich theatrical tradition. The theatre's design influenced the way plays were written and performed, emphasizing the importance of the spoken word and the interaction between actors and audience. In the late 20th century, the Globe Theatre was brought back to life. In 1997, a faithful reconstruction of the Globe, named Shakespeare's Globe, was opened to the public. This modern globe is located near the site of the original and offers performances of Shakespeare's plays in a setting designed to replicate the experience of Elizabethan theatregoers. This reconstruction serves as a living museum and a tribute to the original Globe Theatre and to Shakespeare's legacy. The fire, reconstruction, and legacy of the Globe Theatre are important chapters in the story of Shakespeare and the history of English drama. The Globe's story is one of creativity, tragedy, and rebirth. It reflects the enduring nature of theatre and its ability to survive and thrive despite challenges. The modern Globe stands as a testament to the lasting impact of Shakespeare and his theatre, continuing to inspire and entertain audiences just as it did over 400 years ago. William Shakespeare's personal life, particularly his family life in Stratford-upon-Avon and London, is a blend of known facts and mysteries that add to his intriguing story. Born in Stratford-upon-Avon in 1564, Shakespeare grew up in a family of 8 children. His father, John Shakespeare, was a glovemaker and a prominent figure in the local community. His mother, Mary Arden, came from a family of some wealth and status. At the age of 18, Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway, who was 8 years older than him. The couple had 3 children, Susanna, born in 1583, and twins Hamnet and Judith, born in 1585. Hamnet, Shakespeare's only son, tragically died at the age of 11, an event that may have had a profound impact on Shakespeare. Shakespeare's career in London as a playwright and actor meant that he spent much of his time away from his family in Stratford. This separation has led to much speculation about the nature of his marriage and family life. Some suggest that his marriage was unhappy, pointing to the fact that he left his wife his second-best bed in his will, which has been interpreted in various ways. Others argue that this was a standard practice of the time and not an indication of the quality of their relationship. Despite his success in London, Shakespeare maintained strong ties to Stratford. He invested in property there and eventually returned to live in Stratford in his later years. His house, New Place, was one of the largest in the town. His return to Stratford and investment in the community suggest a man who valued his roots and his family. The details of Shakespeare's family life in Stratford and his relationship with his wife and children are limited. The historical records provide only snapshots of his personal life. However, these glimpses into his family life in Stratford and his time in London offer a picture of a man who lived a life full of both personal and professional achievements and challenges. Shakespeare's family life is an important aspect of his story. It provides insight into the man behind the famous plays and poems. His experiences as a husband and father, combined with his experiences in London, may have influenced his writing and the themes he explored in his works. Shakespeare's personal life, with its blend of known facts and mysteries, adds to the depth and complexity of his legacy as one of the greatest writers in the English language. One of the most intriguing aspects of William Shakespeare's life is the debates and mysteries surrounding his identity. Despite being one of the most famous writers in history, there is still much that is unknown or debated about Shakespeare, particularly regarding his authorship of the works attributed to him. These debates and mysteries add an element of intrigue to his story. One major debate is the Shakespeare authorship question, which is about whether Shakespeare actually wrote the plays and poems attributed to him. Some people believe that Shakespeare was just a front for another writer, or that his works were written by a group of people. Various alternative candidates have been proposed over the years, including Francis Bacon, Christopher Marlowe, and even Elizabeth I. Supporters of these theories often point to gaps in the known records of Shakespeare's life and education, arguing that there is not enough evidence to prove that he could have written such complex and knowledgeable works. However, most scholars and experts on Shakespeare believe that there is strong evidence that he did write the plays and poems attributed to him. They point to contemporary references to Shakespeare as an author, records of his involvement in the London theatre scene, and the styles and themes of the works, which are consistent with what is known of his life. Another aspect of the mystery surrounding Shakespeare is the lack of detailed records about his life. There are gaps in the historical record, particularly regarding his early life and his time in London. This lack of information has led to speculation and theories about his activities and experiences during these periods. The debates and mysteries surrounding Shakespeare's identity and authorship have not been resolved and continue to be a topic of discussion and research. While some enjoy the speculation and the sense of mystery, others focus on the works themselves, viewing them as the most important legacy of Shakespeare, regardless of the uncertainties about his life. The debates and mysteries surrounding Shakespeare add to his allure as a historical figure. They show how his life and work continue to captivate and intrigue people centuries after his death. The discussion and research into his identity and authorship also demonstrate the enduring impact of his plays and poems, and their importance in the history of literature. Whether these mysteries will ever be fully resolved is uncertain, but they certainly add to the fascination with Shakespeare and his legacy. William Shakespeare's final years were marked by a period of creativity followed by retirement to his hometown of Stratford-upon-Avon. After a prolific career as a playwright and poet in London, Shakespeare's last works before his retirement are considered some of his finest. These include plays like The Tempest, Cymbeline, The Winter's Tale, and Henry VIII, which were written between 1610 and 1613. These plays, often grouped as his late romances, show a shift in his writing style and themes, focusing more on reconciliation, forgiveness, and the complexities of human relationships. The Tempest, believed to be one of his last plays, is particularly notable. It is often read as Shakespeare's farewell to the theatre, with the character Prospero's renunciation of magic interpreted as Shakespeare's own farewell to his art. The play combines elements of magic, adventure, and romance, and is celebrated for its rich language and profound themes. After these final works, Shakespeare retired to Stratford-upon-Avon around 1613. This retirement did not mean complete isolation, as he maintained social and familial ties and was still regarded as a significant figure in the community. In Stratford, Shakespeare spent his last years in relative comfort, having acquired considerable wealth from his successful career. He lived in New Place, one of the largest houses in the town. Shakespeare's retirement years were a time for him to enjoy the fruits of his labor and to spend time with his family, including his wife, Anne Hathaway, and his daughters, Susanna and Judith. His retirement was also a period of reflection, a time away from the demands of writing and the hectic pace of London's theatrical world. The exact reasons for Shakespeare's retirement are not clear. It could have been due to his health, a desire to be closer to his family, or simply a decision to step away from the pressures of writing and the theater business. Whatever the reasons, his retirement marks the end of an extraordinary career that significantly influenced English literature and theater. Shakespeare passed away in 1616 at the age of 52, just a few years after retiring. His last works and his retirement period form an important chapter in his life story, representing both a culmination of his artistic journey and a final return to his roots in Stratford-upon-Avon. These final years are a testament to his enduring legacy as a writer and to the timeless appeal of his works. William Shakespeare passed away on April 23, 1616, at the age of 52, in his hometown of Stratford-upon-Avon. The cause of his death remains unknown, as there are no detailed records from that time. His death marked the end of an era in English literature and theatre. Shakespeare was buried in the Holy Trinity Church in Stratford. His gravestone bears an epitaph, believed to be written by him, warning others not to disturb his bones. Shakespeare's death was not immediately regarded as a major event in the literary world. It was only over time that his works gained the immense recognition and stature they hold today. In his lifetime, Shakespeare was respected as a talented playwright, but his fame grew considerably in the years following his death. His plays continued to be performed and were eventually published in the First Folio in 1623, a collected edition of his works that helped to preserve and disseminate his writings. Shakespeare's legacy is vast and profound. He is often regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and one of the greatest playwrights in the world. His works have been translated into every major living language and are performed more often than those of any other playwright. His plays have had a lasting impact on literature, theater, and the English language. He introduced new vocabulary and phrases into the language, many of which are still in use today. Shakespeare's influence extends beyond literature and theater. His exploration of human nature, his insights into the complexities of life, love, power, and morality resonate with people across cultures and eras. His characters are timeless, representing a wide range of human emotions and experiences. His plays address universal themes, making them relevant and relatable to audiences of all ages. Shakespeare's works have inspired countless adaptations in various forms, including opera, film, and television. His stories and characters have been reimagined in different settings and eras, demonstrating their versatility and enduring appeal. His influence is evident in the works of many other writers, artists, and filmmakers who have drawn inspiration from his stories and characters. The legacy left behind by Shakespeare is a testament to his genius and creativity. His body of work continues to be studied, performed, and enjoyed, offering endless possibilities for interpretation and adaptation. Shakespeare's contributions to literature and theater have made him an iconic figure in the arts, and his works continue to captivate and inspire audiences around the world. His death marked not just the end of a remarkable life but also the beginning of an enduring legacy that continues to influence and enrich the world of literature and the arts. William Shakespeare's works have remained incredibly relevant and influential in modern times, thanks in large part to the countless adaptations and reinventions of his plays and sonnets. These adaptations have taken various forms, spanning theater, cinema, literature, and even music, showing the timeless nature of Shakespeare's stories and themes. In theater, Shakespeare's plays have been continuously performed and reinterpreted, reflecting changing cultural and social contexts. Directors and actors bring their own perspectives to these classic texts, often setting the stories in different times or places, or using modern technology and stage techniques to appeal to contemporary audiences. For instance, Romeo and Juliet has been staged in settings as diverse as modern-day America and ancient Japan, showing the universal nature of its story. The impact of Shakespeare in cinema has been profound. His plays have been adapted into films numerous times, with directors like Baz Luhrmann and Kenneth Branagh offering modern audiences their unique interpretations. These film adaptations often use creative liberties with setting, dialogue, and characters while staying true to the essence of Shakespeare's narratives. For example, Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet sets the classic love story in a modern, fictional city but retains the original Shakespearean dialogue. Beyond traditional adaptations, Shakespeare's influence extends to literature, where his themes and characters inspire new stories. His works have been reimagined in novels, short stories, and even comic books. These literary adaptations sometimes directly retell a Shakespearean story, or they might use elements from his plays to create entirely new narratives. Shakespeare's influence is also evident in music, with composers and songwriters drawing inspiration from his works. His sonnets and plays have been set to music, and his themes of love, loss, and betrayal resonate through many modern songs and operas. The adaptability of Shakespeare's works speaks to their enduring relevance. His deep understanding of human nature and mastery of language continue to resonate with people across generations and cultures. These modern adaptations and reinventions not only keep Shakespeare's legacy alive but also introduce his works to new audiences, ensuring that his stories and characters continue to be a vital part of the cultural conversation. Shakespeare's presence in modern times through these various adaptations and reinventions underscores the timeless and universal appeal of his work. It shows that, even centuries after his death, Shakespeare remains a pivotal figure in the arts, his works continually offering fresh insights and perspectives to each new generation. Shakespeare's influence extends far beyond the realms of literature and theater, permeating contemporary culture and media in profound ways. His works, themes, and characters have become deeply ingrained in modern society, influencing various aspects of culture, from language and education to film, television, and even popular music. In language and education, Shakespeare's impact is unmistakable. Phrases he coined are used daily, often without people realizing their origin. His works are studied in schools and universities around the world, not just for their literary merit but also for their exploration of universal themes and human emotions. His plays and sonnets offer insights into human nature, making them relevant for understanding contemporary issues and personal experiences. In film and television, Shakespeare's stories are continually adapted and reimagined. His plays have inspired numerous movies and TV shows, ranging from direct adaptations to works that draw on Shakespearean themes or plots. For example, the film 10 Things I Hate About You is a modern adaptation of The Taming of the Shrew, while the popular TV series House of Cards draws on themes from plays like Macbeth and Richard III. These adaptations demonstrate how Shakespeare's narratives and characters are flexible enough to fit various settings and contexts, appealing to diverse audiences. Shakespeare's influence is also evident in popular music. Songwriters and musicians often reference his works, drawing on his themes of love, loss, and human folly. His ability to capture a wide range of emotions in his writing makes his works a rich source of inspiration for artists in the music industry. Moreover, Shakespeare's cultural impact is visible in the way his works have become part of public discourse. His plays are often referenced in political speeches, used in advertising, and cited in legal arguments. His characters and plots are used as shorthand for certain human behaviors or societal issues, demonstrating his deep understanding of the human condition. The enduring relevance of Shakespeare's works in contemporary culture and media is a testament to his genius as a writer. His ability to delve into the complexities of human nature and to express profound ideas in beautiful and impactful language has ensured his place in the modern world. Shakespeare's influence on contemporary culture and media underscores the continuing importance of his works, not just as historical artifacts but as living texts that continue to resonate, entertain, and inspire. His legacy lives on, shaping and enriching the cultural landscape in myriad ways. Exploring Shakespeare's England today offers a unique insight into the life and legacy of William Shakespeare. Tourists and literature enthusiasts can visit Stratford-upon-Avon and the Globe Theatre in London, two places deeply connected to Shakespeare's life and works. Stratford-upon-Avon, Shakespeare's birthplace, is a must-visit for anyone interested in his life. This charming market town has preserved many sites related to Shakespeare, including his birthplace, which is now a museum. Visitors can walk through the house where he was born and raised, getting a sense of his early life. Another key site is Anne Hathaway's cottage, the home of Shakespeare's wife. This picturesque farmhouse offers a glimpse into their life together. Additionally, the Holy Trinity Church, where Shakespeare was baptized and buried, is a place of reverence and reflection for fans of his work. In London, the Globe Theatre is a cornerstone of Shakespearean exploration. A reconstruction of the original Globe, where many of Shakespeare's plays were performed, stands today as both a tourist attraction and a working theatre. Visitors can experience Shakespeare's plays in a setting that closely resembles the one for which they were originally written. The Globe also offers exhibitions and tours, providing insights into Elizabethan theatre practices and Shakespeare's role in them. These two locations offer a tangible connection to Shakespeare. In Stratford-upon-Avon, visitors can explore the roots and personal history of Shakespeare, while the Globe offers an immersive experience into the world of his plays. Together, they provide a comprehensive understanding of Shakespeare's life, work, and enduring impact. Touring Shakespeare's England is not just about seeing historical sites. It's an opportunity to connect with the legacy of one of the world's greatest playwrights. It allows visitors to step back in time and experience the environments that shaped and inspired Shakespeare's timeless works. This journey offers a deeper appreciation of his contributions to literature and the theater and highlights why his works continue to resonate with audiences today. Engaging with Shakespeare today goes beyond visiting historical sites. It involves active participation in festivals, workshops, and educational programs dedicated to his works. These events and initiatives bring Shakespeare's plays to life for contemporary audiences and foster a deeper understanding and appreciation of his genius. Shakespeare festivals are held worldwide, celebrating his work with performances, lectures, and discussions. These festivals often feature a range of activities, including traditional and modern adaptations of Shakespeare's plays, making them accessible to a diverse audience. They provide an opportunity for people to experience his works as living, dynamic pieces of theater that still resonate today. Some festivals also include workshops and master classes, where participants can learn about acting, directing, and understanding Shakespeare's language and themes. Workshops are another way to engage with Shakespeare's works. These workshops, often held in schools, theaters, and community centers, offer hands-on experiences in performing and interpreting Shakespeare's plays. They are designed for various age groups and skill levels, making Shakespeare's works approachable and enjoyable for everyone. Through these workshops, participants can develop a deeper understanding of the characters, language, and historical context of the plays. Educational programs in schools and universities play a crucial role in keeping Shakespeare's legacy alive. His works are a staple of English literature and drama curriculums. Students study his plays not just as historical artifacts but as vibrant texts that offer insights into human nature and societal issues. Educators use a variety of teaching methods, including performance-based learning, to make Shakespeare's plays relevant and engaging for students. Additionally, many educational institutions and theater groups host special events and competitions focused on Shakespeare, such as recitation contests, playwriting workshops, and theater productions. These events encourage students and aspiring artists to explore and interpret Shakespeare's works creatively. Engaging with Shakespeare through festivals, workshops, and education allows people to experience his plays as living art forms. These activities not only celebrate his legacy but also ensure that his works continue to be a vibrant part of cultural and educational life. They highlight the relevance of Shakespeare's plays in modern times and foster an appreciation for his contributions to literature and theater. Engaging with Shakespeare in these ways brings people together from diverse backgrounds and ages, united by their interest and love for his timeless works.